Welcome, gentles all, to this our play, which shall, we hope, help while your time away. Imagine, friends, a manor built in France, our one richly hung and furnished at first glance. But look again, and you shall see the cracks, the sober judgment he who lives here lacks. The master of this house, Orgon he's named, has by a monstrous hypocrite been tamed. Orgon's whole family tries to show him truth. The stubborn man clings closer to Tartuffe. Orgon's good mother, too, has been so charmed and will not ope her eyes to Tartuffe's harms. And so Orgon's poor wife, the kind Elmire, tries vainly to persuade her to stay here. Let's join them now as mother-in-law upbraids her family in her Tartuffe-based crusade.
Plead not to me and let me get away.
You hurry so. Please pause a moment. Stay.
Don't follow, daughter. Stop. Not one step more. I need no help from you to find the door.
We're only paying what is due to you, mother. Why must you trade this lodging for another?
You've no respect for anything. Each one must have his say. It's pandemonium.
If,
Hush, girl. You can't remember you're a servant. Your vast impertinence is ever fervent.
But...
And you, a fool, my boy. F-O-O-L. Just spell your name. Oh, let your grandma tell the 100 times said to my poor son, your father, that you'd never be worth 1 franc. Not one. You're worse than plague and blisters.
I think that...
Oh, dearie me, let's hear from little sister. You try to be demure to all men's eyes, but I know what you're doing on the sly.
But, mother...
Yes, daughter, by your leave, all that you do is wrong from top to bottom, through and through. You must serve as example for these kids. Their real mother did better while she lived.
But, madam, after all...
Sir, as for you, this lady's brother, I esteem you true. But, sir, if I were here in my son's place, I would entreat you not to show your face. I know I'm frank with you. That's how I am. I don't mince words. Politeness is a sham.
About your friend, Tartuffe, I'd like to say...
He is a holy man to be obeyed.
What? Shall I let this tyrant rule our house, controlling if we may or may not carouse?
If we must hark to him and heed his rules, there's not a single fun thing we may do.
And all he censures is well censured too. He wants to guide you all to heaven, fools. My son should train you all to love him well.
If he's in heaven, I'd rather go to hell.
Madam, 'tis simply scandal to our fame. This vagabond with 2 francs to his name, with unshod feet, came begging at our door, and now he rules the roost and crows for more.
Oh, mercy sakes alive! Things would go better if you were shackled in his pipe fetters.
Oh, his saint-like act is merely counterfeit. In fact, he is nothing but a hypocrite.
You hate him for exposing ugly truths about the family living neath this roof.
This goodly woman, blessed with wise perfection, thinks all but she in need of God's correction.
There, that's the kind of sass you tolerate. A clear example of your second-rate ability to be a second wife. You let your chatty servants run your life. I tell you what, my son's done nothing wiser than take his righteous man as his advisor. It's clear to me that heaven sent him here, to fill your souls with pure and holy fear. Oh, now the gentleman must snicker, must he? You see how he derides his elders thusly. Daughter, goodbye. I'll say not one word more. I shan't set foot again beyond your door.
Having thus delivered her tirade, her ostentatious scorn on full display, Madame Purnell storms out the door, and one may hope she'll darken it no more. The family stands agape, incredulous, but rid at last of her malevolence.
Escorting her downstairs might be polite, but she reviled and scolded me at each flight, that good old lady.
Bless us, it's quite sad. She cannot hear you speak, so that old bag.
Oh, how she vented fury without cause, and harped upon Tartuffe without pause.
Well, her obsession's mild beside her son's. His talk of Tartuffe seems it's never done. He calls him brother, dotes on him completely, won't leave his side, and speaks of him so sweetly that one would think they are married. Beg your pardon, but ma'am, he picks him flowers from our garden. At table Tartuffe has the honored seat, while with delight our master sees him eat as much as 6 men could. We must give up the choicest bits to him. On scraps we sup. That Tartuffe knows his dupe and keeps him fooled, so all complaints of him are overruled. He scams him with 100 masks of merit, or then throws him money. Oh, I can't bear it.
Mare picks up and listens at the door. She hears a step out on the landing's floor.
My husband's home. No more talker, Tartuffe. Orgon won't stand to hear any reproof against his holy man. I need a break. Mother-in-law is more than I can take.
I wish you health, madam. I won't stay long. I'll merely say good morning and be gone.
So, hand to head, Elmer takes to her room, with Marianne behind her, wreathed in gloom. Tommy turns to Cléante in full-on brood about his father's changing attitude towards his sister's boyfriend called Valère. Tartuffe does not approve of the affair.
I wish you'd say a word to him about my sister's marriage. I have serious doubts about its prospects, and I blame Tartuffe. Oregon liked him before. Now he's aloof these days towards Marianne's beloved Valère. Dad used to think they made a perfect pair, and now he talks like she should wed another.
He's coming through the door.
Good morning, brother.
Orgon, our mighty patriarch, comes in and greets his brother-in-law with a grin. Tommy, unnoticed, softly sneaks away. He's for his father's wrath too easy prey.
I was just going, but I'm glad to meet you. It's fortunate I was still here to greet you.
I feel most fortunate, but hold that thought until I first inquire if there's aught that's happened with my family these 2 days that I've been gone. Doreen, without delay.
Well then, my lord, the day you left, your wife was taken with a fever near all night.
And how about Tartuffe?
Tartuffe, he's well. He's well and stout and fat, as I can tell.
Poor man.
Next day into the night, she was sick to her stomach without obvious cause. It probably was the headache.
And Tartuffe?
He ate the food she didn't. That's the truth.
Poor man.
All night she couldn't get a wink of sleep. The fever racked her so, I think, I had to watch beside her the whole night.
But how's Tartuffe? Is he doing all right?
He drank 4 cups of wine and fell asleep, then snored so loud it made my mistress weep because her head still hurt so much.
Poor man.
But now she's doing well as best she can with 1 hour's sleep. Now, if I may, I'll head to let her know you're glad she's not dead. Your kind concern is touching, does you credit. I'm sure your wife is not like to forget it.
Organs affixed with the most withering glare. Doreen leaves to report Organ's kind care.
Brother, she ridicules you to your face, and I, although I know it's not my place, must tell you candidly that she's quite right. You cry Tartuffe to all, both day and night. How can he hold such sway over your life?
You do not know him, sir. His soul is rife with every quality beseems a man. Dear brother, get to know him if you can. Your raptures over him would have no end. To watch him care for all the souls he tends, his converse has transformed me quite. He tells me that it's sinful if one loves too well. Now that he's taught me holy truths, my brother, no, I could see my children, my wife, my mother, all die tomorrow and not care a pin.
Oh, surely this will save you from your sins.
Ah, if you'd seen him, been there when I met him, you too would be devoted, you would get him. He came to church each day with contrite face, knelt on both knees right opposite my place, and drew the eyes of all the congregation to watch the fervor of his prayers to heaven with deep-drawn sighs and great ejaculations. A glorious racket were his pure oblations. And when I left the church, he ran before me to give me holy water at the door. Me! I learned his poverty and who he was. I took him home that morning, didn't pause, and since that day all seems to prosper here. He censures everything and soothes my fears. He even takes great interest in my wife. He tells me when she's oogled. By my life, he seems 6 times as jealous as I am.
My God, are you mad? I think, or I'll be damned.
I'll not have in this house such atheist talk. Coming from you, my brother, I am shocked. I do suspect your soul may bear some taint. Tartuffe can pray for you. It's not too late.
That is the usual strain of all your kind. They must make every one of us as blind. They call you atheist if you have eyes, if you aren't taken in by saintly lies. What? Can you find no difference between true devoutness and a swindler's schemes? You're quite sincere in boasting in his zeal, but you're deceived, I think, in what is real.
My dear good brother-in-law, have you quite done?
Yes.
Then I'm leaving.
But before you run, we'll drop that other subject. Talk of this, your daughter's marriage, her happy day of bliss. You gave Valere permission. Name the day. Why let her pine alone?
I cannot say.
Can it be that you have some plan in mind? Some other likely lad for her you'll find?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. You mean to break your word.
I don't say that.
I hope nothing occurred that will prevent performing what you promised.
Well, that depends.
Well, now you've proven dishonest. Valere has sent me here to settle matters. What answer shall I take him?
No more chatter.
But we must know your plans, sir. What are they?
That I shall do whatever heaven says.
You can't be serious. Valere proposed and Marian accepted. You don't suppose that you can change their hearts? My friend, you jest.
Goodbye, Cleant. I know I'll do what's best.
Conversation's over. Time to leave. The poor Cleant is left behind to grieve the fate of future marriage for his friend. He isn't sure how this is going to end.
I see that Valere's love has much to fear. I must go and let him know what's happening here.
Cleant is gone. The stage is bare once more, till Marianne mopes through the stage left door. As she throws herself aside into a chair, her tragedy is far too much to bear. She clutches tight her hanky to her chest and thinks upon Valere. who's just the best. She doesn't see Orgon come in the room, distracted by her fantasies, consumed by missing everything about Valere, his smile, his nose, his chest, his butt, his hair.
Now, Marianne,
Yes, Father.
are you there? Come, child, I'll tell a secret in your ear, one that is meant for only you to hear. I've always found you gentle and obedient, these being the most crucial of ingredients in cooking up a father's perfect child, a daughter who is dutiful and mild.
Well, that's not problematic.
It's perfection.
I'm grateful for your fatherly affection.
Well spoken, child. That loves what you deserve if you do as I say without reserve.
To do so is the height of my ambition.
Excellent. Well then, here is my mission. Tartuffe. Think of him now. What do you feel? I want to hear your thoughts on his appeal.
Who? I?
Yes, you. Now tell the truth, or we'll find that my love towards you begins to chill.
Into this awkward moment strides Doreen. A spoiler, she's going to steal the scene. She stands out of Orgon's clear line of sight, while Marianne prays that she gets this right.
Why, I'll say of him anything you please.
Well spoken.
She'll harm her hopes her father to appease.
A good girl. Say then, my child, that he is saint-like, gentle, sweet, and mild, that he has won your heart, and you would like to become, by my choice, his willing wife. Eh?
Eh?
What say you?
Please, what did you say?
What?
Surely I mistook you, sir.
No way.
Who is it, Father, you would like me to claim has won my heart, and would I like the same to be my husband by your choice for me?
Tartuffe.
But Father, that could never be. Why should you make me tell this dreadful lie?
Because, dear, it is not you, it is I who settles you on husbands. It's decided.
What? Father, you would...
Yes, child, I provided for you for years. The reason, now I see, to graft Tartuffe into my family tree.
Orgon is satisfied. He turns to leave, but as he does so, bumps into Doreen. She curtsies very prettily and smiles and ups the charm so much, she breaks the dial.
Dear me, oh you, what are you doing there? Your curiosity sneaks everywhere.
Good day, my lord. Your pardon. Are you stupid?
Excuse me?
You are such a garbage, Cupid. I can't believe such things even from you.
You must believe when things are known as true.
Well, then we do believe you, and that's worse.
You've taken on yourself here in this house a sort of free familiarity.
There, let's not get angry, sir, at me. That man's too old for Marianne by half. Besides, what can you gain by such a match? He's only worth the worth that you've endowed.
You hold your tongue, my girl. We should be proud to have a saint to manage our affairs. His poverty is as honest as his prayers.
His prayers are as honest as a politician's. How can you force a man of his position, his age, his greed, his lies, his general grossness on Marianne to fill her with moroseness? If she is married to a man she hates, especially one so full of odious traits, she'll never have a chance at happiness. Don't curse the child your duty ought to bless. For he who weds his child against her will owes heaven account for it if she do ill.
So, I must learn what's what from her, you see.
You might do worse than take advice from me.
True, I had promised her to young Valere, but what of this? That young man can't compare to good Tartuffe. Besides, I hear he gambles and doesn't go to church. Valere's a shambles. Tartuffe will grant you ever faithful love. You'll live like children, like two turtle doves. You'll never fall to quarrel, scold, or tease, and you may do with him whatever you please.
It'd please me if you kicked him to the curb.
Have done with interrupting, no more words.
If I make bold, sir, 'tis for your own good.
I want no good from you.
Well, sir, you should. 'Twould be a sin to let you make this match.
I thought that I had said to shut your hatch.
What? Oh, so pious, yet you feel such wrath. That's one of 7 sins. You do the math.
Are you a servant or a screaming harpy?
And who is screaming here? Oh, right. It's not me. Okay, I'm done, I swear. Please do go on.
Your contract to Valere is now withdrawn. The wisest course of action.
If I'll go mad if I can't speak.
You ought to understand Tartuffe is well enough.
Like hell he is.
And if he is not fair, love him for his clear goodness.
And his stark hypocrisy.
If you can't love for you, do it for me.
If I were in her place, no man should try to carry me by force to be his bride. I'd let him know that within a week a woman's vengeance isn't far to seek.
None of my threats have frightened you at all.
I'm not addressing you. I tried the wall.
What were you doing?
Talking to myself.
Oh, very well. If I ignore the elf, perhaps she'll go away and let me be. My child, you must resign yourself to see Tartuffe as your... What? Nothing more to say?
No, not a peep.
Just one more word, I pray.
Oh, no. I'm good.
I almost caught you there.
Who, me? I am no such fool. I'd never dare.
You must accept my choice and wed Tartuffe.
Don't do it, Marianne. Don't waste your youth.
Ah, a shrieking parrot wouldn't cause such din. I can't discuss things in the state I'm in. My mind's so flustered by your insolent talk. To calm myself, I must go take a walk.
Enraged, our old Orgon chooses to flee. It's hard to face a woman like Doreen. And now Orgon has run before her rage. She turns to Marianne, her ire engaged.
Say, have you lost your tongue from out your head, and I must speak your role from A to Z? You let him choose your husband? That's absurd. And don't oppose it with a single word.
What can I do? My father is the master.
Do everything to ward off such disaster.
What?
Tell him one doesn't love by proxy. Tell him you'll marry who you love, not poxy. Tartuffe. Beside, your father's made it clear that he's the one who holds Tartuffe most dear. Since that's the case, let's keep you with Valere. Let Orgon marry Tartuffe. What a pair.
A father's rights are such, it seems to me, that I could never dare to disagree.
Come, talk it out. Valere has asked your hand, so if you really love him, take a stand.
Doreen, how can you wrong my love so much? To doubt my sincere heart? Am I one such who lie about my ardent love to you?
So then, you love him?
Yes, with heart so true.
And he returns his love to you again?
I think so. Yes, my ever-faithful friend.
Then what is your plan to deal with old Tartuffe?
To kill myself most tragically, in truth.
Oh, good. A fine solution to your plight. Just die and everything will be all right.
Oh, dear Doreen, don't be annoyed with me. You ought to show me kindly sympathy.
I have no sympathy when folk talk nonsense. Why not deal with your problems? What a concept.
But what can I expect? If one is timid...
So is your love worth nothing? Oh, I am livid.
Is it not Valère's place to win me from my father's disapproval?
Don't stand dumb and let your father's crazed ideas destroy your passionate betrothal to your boy. Your father's madness, not your lover's fault. Why force Valère to be the one who halts your father's stupid plan?
Shall I cast off my modesty and duty? Shall I scoff at all my father asked of me today?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. But hey, why should I bother to oppose your clear desire to be betrothed? So fine a match, ho ho, no mean proposal. Just mark Valère's engagement for disposal. Monsieur Tartuffe, yes, what a match for you. He's noble in his bearing, handsome too. Red ears and high complexion, what a score. You'll be so happy with him as your lord.
Oh, stop. I beg you, try to find some way to break this off. I'll do whatever you say.
To serve you right, this marriage must go through.
Oh, help. You know I've always trusted you.
Too late. It is time for Tartuffication. The wedding bells shall ring in jubilation.
Shall you refuse to use your wits to save my life? I shall reap me to the grave.
With pretty tears a-gleaming in her eyes, accompanied by heaving, tragic sighs, our Marian begins her sad retreat, till Doreen pushes her back in her seat.
Oh, my dear, come back. I can't be angry long. I must take pity on you, child. Be strong.
Oh, don't you see, Doreen? If I must bear this martyrdom, I'll soon die of despair.
Now, don't you fret, sweet girl. Come on. There. We'll find a way. But look, here comes Valère.
The door bangs open. Through it runs a man so dashing and so dapper that no one can scarce believe the swooning he inspires, or how his face inflames a maiden's desires. Sweet Marian can't help but smile to see him, but then recalls her fate and falls to weeping. Valère goes to embrace his lady dear, but then remembers why he's hurried here. He stands aloof, regards her with cold eye. He's heard she might be with another guy.
Madam, a piece of news, quite new to me, has just come out.
My love, what could it be?
Your marriage with Tartuffe, have I heard right?
'Tis true my father has this plan in sight.
Your father, madam?
Yes, he changed his mind. As he's just now explained, his new design is to betroth me to his friend Tartuffe.
What? Are you kidding? This can't be the truth.
It is. It is. He charged me to obey.
And will you?
I don't know what to say.
Well, that's a pretty answer. You don't know? You can't tell if you love me? Is that so?
No.
No?
No.
No?
Give me some advice.
Oh, marry him. He sounds so very nice.
That's your advice?
Yes.
Do you really mean it?
Oh, a splendid choice. Do not let me demean it.
Oh, very well, sir. I shall take your counsel.
Oh, I'm thrilled to see your zest for this espousal.
No more than you are eager to be free.
Good madam, is that what you think of me?
Doreen withdraws to watch this from a distance, to see if Marianne puts up resistance, or if Valère can't disabuse this notion that Marianne's unfaithful. A slow-motion train wreck is what Doreen expects to watch. She wishes she had popcorn she could pop.
So that's your love? And it was all deceit?
You told me squarely, sir, that I should greet the husband that has offered me with grace. You gave me this advice, so you must face the consequence of what your speech has wrought.
Oh, don't shield yourself with all your previous talk. You had your mind made up. That's evident. And now your devious little mind has set itself to justify your broken word.
Oh, yes, that's exactly what occurred.
Of course it is. I see now that your heart has never known true love from the start.
You're free to think that if that's what you want.
Well, fine, I guess. You may feel free to flaunt your newer, better love to all the world. I'll just go out and find another girl.
No doubt of it. It's something you deserve. I'm sure you have 100 in reserve.
Oh, I know of someone who'll not be ashamed to take this broken heart that you have tamed.
I'm sure you'll barely miss me when I'm gone.
What? Do you want me to always see you fawn upon you while you're in another's arms?
I'm sure I'd never wish on you such harm. Go on, find another love to woo.
Is that truly what you want?
Yes?
Then I'll do what you've said.
You'll leave me? Very well.
But when you miss me, you make sure that you tell your friends that it was you who drove me out.
Of course.
Then you're not, feeling any doubts about this plan that yourself has concocted?
No.
All right. Let it be well known that I have adopted this course of action merely to please you as I go forth to find a brand new boo.
It's for the best.
I'm leaving now, for real.
So be it then.
Hey.
What?
I didn't feel you calling out to me in silent pain.
You're dreaming.
Then I'm leaving now, again.
Valera moves backwards toward the open door, his eyes on Marianne. He implores her voice to call and stop his swift retreat. Doreen gets to him first. She stamps her feet.
I can't believe you two. I didn't think you'd go this far. You teeter on the brink of nuking your relationship for what?
What do you want, Doreen?
Come here. Shut up.
Don't hinder me from doing what she wants. I won't stay here and bear her haughty taunts.
And since my hated presence pains him so, I'll leave him to another lady. Oh.
Doreen has grabbed them both and won't let go.
You argue quite mad to quarrel with her now.
Did not you hear her break her lover's vow?
Are you quite mad to get in such a passion?
See him scorn me like fashion?
Fools, both of you. She thinks nothing more of spending life with you, whom she adores. And he loves none but you, and longs for nothing but just to marry you. Now, you say something.
Why did you give me such advice then, pray?
Why ask for my advice and start this fray?
You both are daft, I tell you. Here, your hands. Come, yours.
What for?
Now yours.
He can't stand me. That's what he said.
Oh, God, just stop. There. Yes, hold her hand. You're both too much to bear.
Valera and Marianne try to avert their gaze from one another, to assert that Doreen's wrong, but in the end, they can't. They fall to kissing promptly and recant each unkind thing that's recently been said and reassure each other that they will wed. Doreen needs to focus them, and soon.
Okay, you two. Good Lord, please get a room. But not right now. We need a plan, or 10, to stymie this new match for Marianne.
Then tell us how to go about it, please.
Oh, kind Doreen, we beg you on our knees.
All right. We're going to try all sorts of ways. First off, we'll block the marriage by delay. We must gain time. Feign illness once again. There is no wedding without Marian. Organ is going to rant, rail, and protest, but there's no marriage unless you say yes. You, grab your friends and go out on the town and spread this gossip everywhere around. Organ is going to break his sacred word, and once he's to this scandal quite inured, we'll bring Cleon's great influence to bear. Elmire can also champion Belair. For now, however, you two need to part.
Oh, my love, to leave you breaks my heart.
I'll do my best to shun my father's whims. My love for you, Valere, will never dim.
You thrill me through with joy, whate'er may be.
Okay, you're done. Get going. Time to leave.
Doreen shoves poor Valere right out the door and slams it shut before there's any more interminable vows to be exchanged between these lovers recently estranged. Young Marian looks prepped to start a swoon. Before she can, she's ushered from the room. Just as Dami bursts in, fit to be tied, Doreen can't catch a break. She heaves a sigh.
May lightning strike me dead this very night if I don't murder him at my next sight of his detested face. Tartuffe, you snake! To marry my poor sister? Oh, I'll take his heart out of his chest with my bare hands.
Modulate your passion if you can, for if your father hears your angry shouts...
No, I must end this paltry fellow's plots.
Oh, hush. Go slow now. Just leave the feller in the clever hands of your stepmother. She has some influence with this Tartuffe. I think he's got a crush, though I've no proof. So, off with you, and let me wait for him.
No, I must challenge him.
What? Are you dim, you fool? He's here. Get in the cupboard. Get inside.
No, unhand me, wench.
Get over yourself and hide.
Doreen slams shut the door as Tartuffe struts into the room as if he owns it. Much moored of his elevated place, a smirk of satisfaction on his face. He looks around. He thinks he's alone. He sits upon the couch he doesn't own and puts his feet up on the coffee table. Doreen, who rolls her eyes as hard as she's able, comes up behind to loudly clear her throat. Starts up. She has no chance to gloat over the sinful lapse that she's discovered. Tartuffe, with a sugar grin, at once recovers.
Oh, Doreen, have you seen my haircloth shirt? I needed to perform my holy work. I thought perhaps it might be in the couch. Oh, no need to glare at me like such a grouch. If any come to see me, say I'm gone among the prisoners to share my alms.
I'd hate to spare the prisoners their savior, and while your absence I usually would savor. One thing to say, Madame will soon be down. She'd like a word with you before you go to town.
Willingly.
He's instantly entranced. I wonder if he'll keep it in his pants.
Will she come soon?
I think I hear her now. Yes, here she is. Oh, sweat upon his brow, an eager puppy look gleams in his eyes. His clammy hands are grasping at his thighs. He's into her. Ugh, it kind of makes me ill. But now Elmire can bend him to her will.
Doreen opens the door for her madame, then leaves the room as quickly as she can. Elmire comes in and steels herself anew for what will probably be an interview that's creepier than anyone would like, especially in her stepson's line of sight. Tartuffe leaps toward her as soon as she's appeared and takes her hand to kiss, then stands and leers a little too distinctly at her bodice. Elmire casts down her eyes, demure and modest.
May heaven ever bless your health and soul. I hope your illness late has lost its hold upon your sweet and robust little body. My humble prayers were possibly too shoddy to heal your sickness quick as you deserved.
Oh, I'm very grateful for what prayers you serve. Your piousness, I'm sure, helped my disease. But let us sit down so we may talk at ease. In private with you did I wish to speak, with no one near who conspires to peek at anything we do.
Madam, I am ready. The very thought of us alone feels heady, as rich as cake or dark as strongest wine. Two things which, of course, I do not imbibe. My prayers have begged for this now and again, and heaven many times, and not in vain.
I simply want to have a word with you, quite frank and open.
That's what I want too. I too could wish, with no one here to pry, to lay my soul quite bare before your eye.
I see, it's my salvation that concerns you.
Madam, 'tis so. Such is my will to turn you onto the path that leads you to redemption, so that your soul with mine finds its ascension.
He reaches out, his finger brushes her knee. How creepy will this get? I guess we'll see.
Monsieur, that isn't where your hand belongs.
Oh, I want to feel your gown. It's been so long since I've touched a cloth as soft as this.
Let be, I beg you. I am ticklish.
Tartuffe's not done, so who would like to bet that we have not reached peak discomfort yet? Elmire suspected this would be a bother. She didn't know she'd have her garments fondled. Dami is close to screaming in his closet. He's either going to punch Tartuffe or vomit.
Dear me, how skillfully this lace is made. Its rapture, how it teasingly displays your heaving.
Yes, yes, sir, 'tis very true. But let us come to what I need from you.
Oh, yes, my dear. Let's prayerfully confer.
They say my husband means to break his word and marry Marianne to you. It's so?
He did hint some such thing, but truly no. That's not the happiness I'm yearning after. It's not his daughter I'd like to master. Eh?
Your only master, sir, is God above. I thought 'twas only heaven you loved.
The heart within my bosom is not stone, and man was not designed to pray alone. Love for the beauty of eternal things cannot destroy the joy that nature brings. Our mortal senses may be deep in rapture by perfect works in which God's bliss is captured. His charms reflected shine in such as you, and every paean of worship offered to your temporal self is my true holy work, a faithful duty that I may not shirk, and by your doom of judgment I shall be blessed if you will, or damned by your decree.
Oh, your declarations turn most gallantly, but it is slightly baffling to me. A pious man like you, known everywhere?
Reverend monk could not resist your fare. Though pious, I am none the less a man. And when a man finds heaven, well, how can he turn away? 'Tis strange this comes from me, but madam, I am no angel, obviously. If you condemn my frankly made love vow, you only have yourself to blame. For how could anyone endure inhuman beauty? Why, answering my prayer should be your duty. If but you will look down with gracious favor upon my sorrows, be my holy savior, I'll ever pay you, oh sweet miracle, devotion of proportions biblical. Then too, with me your honor runs no risk. With me you need not fear a public tryst. For men like me are so discreet in love that you may trust their secrecy above a duty sworn in any other case. I guarantee your reputation safe, so you may find with hearts like ours sincere, love without scandal, pleasure without fear.
I heard you through. Your speech is clear enough, but don't you fear that I may take this stuff that you've confessed directly to my spouse, and that he then remove you from this house?
I know that you are so good and generous that you will pardon me for speaking thus.
Elmire has found her chance, swoops in to kill. She will turn this scene to her advantage still.
Well, I could be willing to employ discretion and be persuaded now to make no mention of what has passed between us two today. But in return, you, sir, must find a way to strongly urge, as much as you may dare, that Marianne may marry her Valere. My husband listens to your advice, and if you ask...
Do not conceal his vice.
Dami explodes in rage from where he hides. Advances on Tartuffe within 2 strides. Tartuffe lets out a squeal and runs behind a shocked Elmire, who finds herself resigned to keeping Dami's hands from Tartuffe's throat.
I will not stand this hypocrite to gloat at trying to seduce my virtuous mother. The scandal must be told to all other members of the household so that they may know the viper in our midst has finally shown the scaly hide behind his pious face. It's providence that I hid inside this place and overheard each of his sinful words.
Me. It doesn't matter what you heard. If he does as I've asked, we'll let it drop.
But if we spare him now, he'll never stop. His pompous pride has triumphed all too long over my righteous anger, caused such wrongs to every member of our family. Let's take him down. I thought you'd agree. The rascal has all too long ruled over my father and crossed my love and your stepdaughters. The time has come. The traitor is unmasked.
Dami. Come on, please. Just...
Father! Oh no, I'll not do as you ask. This blatant wickedness cannot be allowed. And to content me, here's my father now.
Orgon enters the room. He's not prepared to see his friend and confidant so scared and trembling behind his spouse's skirts. Words tumble from Dami in angry spurts.
Father, we have news to welcome your arriving. That altogether novel and surprising. You are well paid for your love of Tartuffe. I found him here under your very roof, attempting to seduce your blameless wife.
Oh.
Your honor dictates you should take his life.
Dami, I had the problem well in hand without your butting in. You know I can defend myself without your noble airs.
You should be glad you've got a son who cares.
Just heaven. Are you telling me the truth?
Why question me? You ought to ask Tartuffe.
All eyes turn now to gaze at the accused. Will he protest that he has been abused? Attest his innocence and then decry all that Dami has said as awful lies?
Yes, brother, I am wicked. I am guilty. Instead of loving me, you should have killed me. This miserable sinner needs correction.
Nope, headed in the opposite direction. He throws himself upon his sinful knees and grovels to Orgon to hear his pleas.
I am the greatest criminal that's lived. I've squandered every grace that God can give. My soul is but a mass of filth and mud. Whatever they accuse me with, I'm stuck. every charge they give I'll not deny. For self-defense itself's a kind of pride, and pride's another sin, of which I've many. Believe their stories, arm your wrath against me, and drive me like a villain from your house, for what they say I've done unto your spouse.
You miscreant! Can you make bold with lies, abuse and stain this man? How dare you try?
What? The feigned meekness of this hypocrite makes you discredit.
Silence, dissident.
Ah, let him speak. You chide him wrongfully. Why disbelieve your child in favor of me? No, no. Let appearances deceive. Yes, my dear boy, say on. I will receive with gladness every insult that you throw. Yes, call me a seducer. It is so. Oh, shame me, please, so that I may repent.
Oh, brother, 'tis too much. You'll not relent?
How can you listen to these monstrous tales?
Be quiet, boy. My brother, you're so pale.
Oh,
This brat. Here, sit down in this chair.
But will you...
Stop! My friend, how do you fare?
oh,
Ungrateful monster!
oh, stop upon my knees. I beg you, pardon him. Oh.
My brother, please.
By this point, both Tartuffe and old Orgon are rolling on the floor in tears, far gone in mingled grief and love. Dami, in shock, attempts one final time to have this talk.
Please listen, Father.
Behold his goodness. Hush! Be still, I say. You hate him far too much. You have recourse to every shameful trick to drive this man away. It makes me sick. I'll have him straightway marry Marianne, just to confound you all, because I can. Why, yes, this very evening, to enrage you. Tartuffe, will you allow me to engage you? I am the master and must be obeyed. Off with you, boy. You think I'll let you stay within my house now that you've been so rude? I've never liked your smarmy attitude. You're disinherited, reviled, disowned. Elmire, see this young fool out of our home.
Elmire knows that to argue would be vain until Orgon is acting less insane. She takes Dami quite firmly by the arm and drags him out before he comes to harm. Orgon turns back to Tartuffe with a sob.
What? So insult a saintly man of God?
Oh, heaven forgive him all the pain he gives. Could you but know with what distress I live? I hear them vilify me to my friend. Your kindness will defend me to the end. But let us end these painful, quarrelsome days. I see what troublous times, what frightful phrase I bring upon you. I must leave this place.
What? No.
Your family cannot stand my face, and I try to make you doubt me every day.
And do you think I care for what they say?
No doubt. They won't stop there. This accusation now you now reject may someday be damnation. A woman may mislead her husband's mind, so I will leave before I am maligned. Much more, removing cause for such attacks.
Tartuffe begins to leave.
No!
Look, I'm back! But I should do some penance for my sins.
No, don't.
Sounds good. And yet, to my chagrin, there's still a little matter of your wife. It's true that I would rather give my life than ever to betray your sacred trust, but Dami might spread rumors, so I must prevent all scandal and avoid Elmire.
No, you shall haunt her, just to spite that fear. You shall be seen together all the time. And better still, so that I may define my love for you, I make you now my heir. I'll bet they thought that I was trying to scare Dami, but ha! I've devised a swift revenge against them all. a deed of gift, drawn in due form of all my property, for my true friend, my son-in-law to be.
May angels look upon you now and sing, for heaven's will is done in everything.
We'll go make haste to draw the deed of right, and then let envy burst itself with spite.
Together they skip off, a happy pair, but in their wake they leave a black despair. Cleon returns unto this misery to straighten this all out, sent by Dami. Unfortunate, unhappy situation. A wedding day should be a celebration. Instead, the house echoes with maiden sighs, a distant wail from Marianne, a cry of anguish that would rend a soul in two. Doreen runs in, unsure of what to do. She sees Cleon and breathes out her relief, then curtsies and spits out a quick debrief.
Thank God, Cleon, good sir, we beg of you to come to Marianne and help her to some consolation. Marrying Tartuffe, that puling scoundrel, is a living proof that daft old men can never be trusted. He wants her to wed tonight. Valaire's hopes busted and Marianne is tearing out her hair. She's suffering so much more than I can bear. This match her father means to make tonight is utter wrong. Please, can you make it right? They're coming. Quickly, arm yourself to battle and conquer with your wits your brother's prattle.
Oh, good. I'm glad that we are all together. Hello, Cleante. And now, my daughter, whether or not you want Tartuffe has become moot. He's yours. We have a contract. Don't dispute my will. I know that he will make you happy. Now sign it, child. Come on, let's make it snappy.
I beg you, sir, regard my prayerful hands and do not make me, by your harsh command, complain to heaven you were ever my father. Do not make wretched your poor only daughter. If you cannot bequeath me to Valere, if you must from my arms my true love tear, then hear my suit. I to you implore, I won't be joined to one whom I abhor. I am not jealous of your love for him. Display it freely, fill it to the brim, with all your riches, and if you need more, take my inheritance, my dowry, pour it all into his ravenous maw. I willingly allow it, give him all. Just do not make me call myself his wife. If I can't have Valere, I'll spend my life behind the rigid rule of a convent's wall.
My children are a trial. You have the gall to censure me just like my brainless son. These girls are ninnies, always turning nuns when fathers thwart their silly love affairs. Get on your feet. Leave flattering despair. The more you hate him with your mind's frustration, the more it will help you earn your soul's salvation. So mortify your senses by this marriage. I don't want to hear a drudge disparage my wiser judgment.
If you'll hear my words.
I'll hear you, but I'm not going to concur.
I cannot understand your willful blindness. How can we put this ugly day behind us? Tartuffe's bewitched your mind if you won't see how odious his behavior's been towards me.
You've always been too partial to my son. You think he's right no matter what he's done. The truth is plain to see, as is my nose. If this had happened, do you not suppose that we would see you act more traumatized? If this were genuine, I think you'd cry.
Oh, you did not just go there. That's your rule? I felt no threat because Tartuffe's a fool. But were I my own spouse, you bet your life I'd affirm such statements from my wife. Must I be sprouting sobs to earn belief? Must I swoon clear away? What a relief you do not sit in judgment of such crimes. Lord, if I fell to pieces every time some overweenish dandy made a pass or some oafish nitwit hollered something crass across the street, I'd never do a thing. I've learned how to ignore it, but it stings that you would not afford me the respect to grasp why I privately reject your friends' advances. Well, what say you now?
It's nonsense.
Oh, are you serious?
Well, how can I make choice between Tartuffe and you?
It's really not that hard.
Hush, you two. Come, husband of mine. What if I find a way to show you your deceits, his deceits as clear as day? I don't propose you take us at our word.
Oh, if he did, that sure would be preferred.
Just for the sake of argument, what if you hid here in the room to catch a whiff of how the real Tartuffe behaves when he thinks you're not looking? Please, do it for me.
Amen. I take you at your word. You may attempt to show me something to dissuade me from my love to Tartuffe.
Sentiment.
Perhaps you will trouble catching him. You will have trouble catching him. The man's a dodgy bugger.
Do not fret. This farce will play exactly as I've bet. My dear, a lover's never hard to cheat, and self-conceit leads straight to self-deceit. Bid him come down to me, and you, withdraw. I know this kind of man. It's time you saw.
Doreen escorts good Cleant to the door. Close follows Marianne, eyes to the floor, still shaken by her father's unkind fury. Doreen leaves last, her brows creased with worry. Elmire knows that Tartuffe is on his way. She girds herself to triumph in this fray.
Here, move the table and get under it.
What?
Crawl under the cloth. Go on now, sit.
Why under here?
Oh, dear. Do as I say. I know what I'm about. Now hush, okay? Stay out of sight and stay quite soundless too.
I'm going a long way to humor you.
Well, soon you'll have, I think, no more to love about Tartuffe. But mind you, here above your head, you're going to hear some stranger things. Prepare to bear yourself the awkward slings of listening to someone else, to some other man attempt to tempt your wife. You'll have to be content with knowing that I'm doing this for you. We're running out of other things to do. So I'll make this hypocrite take off his mask to save you, love. This is my holy task. I'll end the ruse once you've been convinced of his guilt and has been events. Then signal for me, and that will be the end. Now, hide yourself. Here comes your harassed friend.
Scrabble at the door. Tartuffe arrives. He bows low to Elmire and seems to strive to get as close to her as he can manage, and tries to show his butt to his advantage. Orgon peeks out from under the table. Elmire kicks him as gently as she's able.
They told me that you wish to see me here.
Why, yes, I have such secrets for your ears. We are alone. But first, sir, shut the door. We don't want interruptions like before. I did my very best to calm Dummy, and though I failed, it matters not. You're free of any such suspicion from my husband. He heaps his praise on you by the dozen. He even says so he can spite Dummy that we shall be together constantly. So that's how you, without the risk of blame, may fan your sparks of love into flame.
This was not quite what I expected. This seems a swift adjustment of perspective.
If my refusal then offended you, how little do you know what lovers do? Why, where's the fun if conquest is too easy? So quick a courtship feels a little sleazy. Some back and forth required in this game. I'm hoping that you also feel the same. Just think, why else would I have so opposed your match with Marianne? Don't you suppose that it could be that I want you for my own?
My mortal goodness, oh, my mind is blown. To think that you might pine away from me if I take Marianne. It cannot be. To hear such words from you is utter bliss, and yet I can't quite trust my luck. Is this a heartfelt wish, or is it merely show? There's a way that you could let me know. Perhaps a kiss would lay my doubts to rest.
Why must you put my feelings to the test?
He leans in towards her face. She leans away. She's certain that she's triumphed here today. She's shown Orgon at last straightforward proof that he's been in the wrong about Tartuffe. So where's his husband? Why is he still hiding? When Tartuffe's clumsy hands are swiftly sliding to places that no one wants them to be, oh, quick as an eel, Elmire slips herself free.
To say what I have said was hard enough.
I'm sure, my angel, but it's not that tough as everything I've been through, loving you. Oh, darling, it's the least you could do to give me something tangible to touch. Small recompense for prizing you so much.
I fear that modesty can't allow such forward things. I wish I could know how to prove to you what I'm trying to prove. What will it take for you to get your ass to move?
Under the tablecloth, she steals a peek. Orgon's got blank expression and a bleak look on his face. Elmire heaves out a sigh. She's going to need a new tactic to try.
But if you love me, why scant me a kiss?
Oh, but how can I consent to what you wish, and offend not the heaven you talk of so much?
What is heaven to this earthly love? If God is all who stands now in my way, he'll hardly be a hindrance here today.
Elmire looks pointedly down at the table and wills Orgon to see what he's enabled. There's no response. She coughs to give a signal. Still nothing. This should have been so simple.
But you affright us with heaven's commands.
I can dispel these foolish fears, madame. I know the art of pacifying scruples, and though we may parade as heaven's pupils, and though we are mortal, always mortals fall to sin, yet pray the loudest, heaven lets you in. There is a science, madam, that instructs us how to enlarge the limits of our conscience according to our various occasions, and yet with prayer can heaven be persuaded to rectify the evil of the deed according to our purity of need. I'll teach you this if you look fondly on me. I'll answer for it and take the sin upon me.
Elmire coughs louder.
Oh, that cough sounds bad.
Yes, I'm in torture.
Well, I thought I had a cough drop in my pocket.
Never mind. The case is very obstinate, I find. 1,000 cough drops couldn't save the day.
'Tis very trying.
More than words can say.
Well, as I said before, you needn't fear the sultry sin in which we dabble here. No one need know within or out these walls, and secret sinning is no sin at all.
Elmire coughs yet again.
Still nothing?
No!
Well, then I see I must resolve to go as far as you would like. And will that prove the things I've said? I take it you approve?
Indeed I do, madam. Now let's get to it.
Wait a moment, sir. Before we do it, please check the hall, I pray you, and ensure my husband's not behind the door obscured.
Why take such care for him? Between ourselves, he's gullible as any child of 12. I've tamed him so that if he now stood by, he'd give his blessing and not bat an eye.
No matter. Go, I beg you. Look around, search thoroughly, and then tell what you found.
Tartuffe creeps out. Elmire upends the table. Orgon gets up as steady as he's able and clutches at her hand in dumbstruck shock. He can't gasp for breath as he attempts to talk.
That is, I thought a man despicable. I don't know what to say. I'm miserable.
What? Coming out so soon? You cannot mean it. Get back under the table. You haven't seen it. You're certain incontrovertible proof that you can't trust your faithless friend Tartuffe.
Not one more wicked air came out of hell.
As everyone but you could easily tell.
Tartuffe returns. Orgon finds he's shoved down behind Elmire. She hides him with her gown.
All things conspire toward my satisfaction. There's no one here at all. Let's have some action. My tortured soul at last will seek its bliss.
You're far too into this to call yourself a holy priestly man. You'd lure my wife? Deny it if you can. You've strung me on enough. Elmire, I'm sorry. I've been too long this hunter's willing quarry. You tried to tell me many times. I fear I've been an ass. Forgive me, please, my dear.
Perhaps. Well, probably yes.
Now, as for you...
My dear Orgon, what can you mean to do?
Come now, good sir, no further protestations. Leave here at once. I urge cooperation.
My cherished friend.
That talk is out of season. You leave my house this instant.
For what reason? This house belongs to me, I'll have you know. Oh, don't protest. You realize that it's so. Well, heaven will avenge my injuries. Your family has not heard the last of me.
Not really a creative threat per se, but credible enough to have some sway. Tartuffe sails out, but clearly will be back. Elmire rounds upon Orgon, expression black.
What sort of speech is this? What can it mean?
The deed of gift. Oh, what a fool I've been.
What? Tell me.
Oh, the deed of gift, the box. Let's go and check upstairs, and then we'll talk.
Orgon runs out the door. Elmire behind him. They're yelling in the halls. Doreen chimes in. There's thumping up the stairs, and then some banging, a wail of rage that's followed by the clanging of someone tearing through each thing they own. Cleant will brave the din.
Is no one home?
Orgon runs down the stairs, bug-eyed in panic.
What's going on? You look a little manic.
I'm all worked up about that knave, Tartuffe.
You finally been persuaded of the truth?
Yes, do keep up. But now we've got a crisis, for in my madness, I gave him full license to ruin every aspect of our lives. I'm sure this is the goal towards which he strived, because he's taken from me my damn box.
Doreen skids in at speed while Elmire walks at slower pace with Marianne, whose eyes are puffy still with tears. They're keen to try and wrest an explanation from Orgon about the dire picture he has drawn.
Will you at last expound?
I see I must share all the details. Well, it happened thus.
Allow me to outline this for you all, because it gets a bit political. No need for this whole scene in the off chance you are up on 17th century France and all of its attendant history.
That box must hide some mighty mystery.
Oh, it does, Cleant. And since our time is short, here's the deal. Orgon's old friend at court, Argus, a guy who 10-ish years before opposed King Louis in some civil wars that tore through France before this play's events. This man was exiled then for his offense. Orgon has kept his papers safe since then, which technically is treason. So then when Orgon shut all these papers in a box, he's hiding evidence, and though it's locked, the whole thing was entrusted to Tartuffe, who claimed it would be safe under his roof because he's not at all likely to be searched. But now he's got collateral, the jerk. So now that we're all on the same page, we can return to what's happening on stage.
Your case is bad, my friend, I'm sad to say. This deed of gift, this box you've lost today. He holds the high ground, so you must agree. The safest course is straight diplomacy.
Negotiate with him? My soul abhors to have that bilk again darken my door. I'll never trust a pious man again.
Orgon, not even a prayer is one of that's feigned. Just use your judgment, which I'm sure you've got, although you rarely use it. This has taught all the dangers of credulity, I hope. Now, can we salvage this? Let's see.
What? Mom-in-law's back? I guess she lied when she claimed she was gone forever. Why? Well, it's structurally appropriate for her to force Orgon to the end endure the obstinate refusal of the truth of what everyone else knows of Tartuffe.
What's this? I hear there's something going on.
Word gets around, I guess.
My son, what's wrong?
Tartuffe betrayed us all. I must admit it. And in this bait and switch, I've been complicit. His righteous act had hoodwinked me completely, and with it, he has robbed the house quite neatly. He has the tools he needs to steal our fortune. At any moment, we expect extortion.
My child, I cannot possibly believe Tartuffe intends to do so black a deed.
What's that?
The worthy man is now mistrusted? Is virtue now ignored? Well, I'm disgusted.
Oh, mother, what mean you by such a speech?
I'm shocked you would not practice what you've preached and that you doubt Tartuffe. What happened here? Your family has corrupted you, I fear. I always said, my son, since you were small, that sin will creep upon us one and all. The virtue here below is hated ever. The envious may die, but envy never.
What's that fine speech to do with present facts?
Tartuffe's divinity is not an act.
I witnessed his confession by my life. He sought a bold seduction of my wife.
Oh, I'm sure you misinterpreted his actions.
My daft infatuation is retracted. I saw with my own eyes his shamelessness.
And I will vouch for him his blamelessness. The sinful denizens of this base world will ever doubt a cleric's spotless word. Their tongues for spitting venom never lacks. There's nothing here below they'll not attack.
What must I say to bring to you some sense?
I'm guessing nothing. She's your kind of dense.
My dear, appearances are oft deceiving, and seeing shouldn't always be believing.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
This was your theme earlier today.
Oh, fortune's paid you fair to be so doubted.
You flouted our report, now yours is flouted.
Okay, we're wasting time with trivial dispute. If he returns, the argument is mute. If within his rights to kick you out, and he could go that far, I have no doubt.
Out of our home, I can't believe that. No, he can't be so unthankful.
I don't know. I wouldn't put it past him in the end. We've seen the lengths he'll go as a friend. Now he's provoked, and holds your every deed. You've handed him the weapons that he needs.
This said, right on cue, there comes a knock. The family stands frozen, doesn't talk. Perhaps if they stay still, he'll go away. Nope, no such luck is to be had this day. Another knock, one louder than the first. Orgon nods at Doreen. He fears the worst.
The traitor comes to settle up the score. Go down and see who's lurking at the door.
Doreen goes forth to look.
Is someone there?
Good day, good sister. Could you tell me where I might speak with the master of the house? I have some business with him, little mouse.
He's occupied, but can I take a message?
Oh, please, no need. You see, it's rather pressing. It would be to his best advantage to allow me to do what I came to do.
Your name, then?
Tell him simply that his friend, Monsieur Tartuffe, has sent me and their end.
Oh, leans her head back into the room.
A messenger from Tartuffe, I presume.
He wants to talk to you.
Best let him in. Discover what he wants. Tartuffe will win if we don't find a way out, sort this out.
Perhaps he's come to make up?
That I doubt. But if he talks reconciliation, accept it. That's your best bet.
Oh, damnation! I see we have no choice. It's fine, Doreen. Let in the scoundrel. Let's complete this scene.
He lets him in. He saunters through the door.
Good health to you, sir, now and evermore. I thank you for inviting me to stay and chit-chat with you and your friends today.
What? So polite? Perhaps he brings a truce. I'm sorry, sir. Have we been introduced?
My name's Loyal. I'm from Normandy. My office is court bailiff. By your leave, I've come to you to serve a certain writ. Perhaps it would be better if you sit. I wouldn't want to startle you too badly.
You have hard news?
Yes, that is it exactly. 'Tis nothing, sir, but just a little summons to leave this house.
I knew this was coming.
Move out your furniture without delay. Pack up your things. You have about a day. I know that's not much time.
I leave this house?
Why, yes, it says right here.
You little louse!
Now, none of that. As you well know, of course, Tartuffe now owns this house. Of course, besides, the source of this well-founded and quite lawful claim are deeds granted by you, signed with your name. How can you argue? Well, I doubt you can. You are way too respectable a man to question justice or defy the court. I asked to come here since I'm not the sort of person who would make this too unpleasant.
How could this be worse than it is at present? You've ordered us out of our house and home. How will you manage this all on your own?
I'll tell you what. Let's come to an arrangement. I could defer eviction's fixed engagement and you could stay the night here, but tomorrow you'll need to leave. Oh, also, to my sorrow, if this will be the course you choose to take, I'll have to stay with you. It's just to make most certain that you don't abscond away. Tartuffe's protecting his investment. Say, will this content you? Oh, almost forgot. I'll need your keys now. I know that's a lot to ask, but look, my friend, it's just my job.
The devil take the key. If I could lob a single solid punch at Tartuffe's nose.
You found the way to make it worse, God knows. Calm down. Enough of this discussion, sir. Give us the writ and leave us to confer.
Then, au revoir. God keep you from disaster.
May God confound you both, you and your master.
Loyal sails out accomplished in his mission, or gone rounds on his mom.
What's your position? This writ may help you now to judge the matter. Is Tartuffe blameless still? Where is your patter of praise effusive for this saint? Unmustered?
No, amazed, befuddled, and beflustered.
You are unfair. There is no base deception. This action only proves his pure intentions. He knows that money is the root of sin. He robs you blind to save your soul therein.
Are you in some way kept from ever speaking a single word that isn't one that's cheeky?
Come, let's see what course may be advised.
We must expose this hypocrite's bold lies. Such action must invalidate his writ. If proved dishonest, he can't gain from it.
Again the door's thrown back. All turn to stare. And who should barrel in but good Valere? From Marianne escapes a joyful cry. She quickly rushes to be by his side. Valere kisses her hand, but absently, and rushes on to speak impatiently.
'Tis with regret, sir, that I bring bad news. It's not the kind of message I would choose, but urgent danger forces me to do so. A close, familiar friend of mine, who too knows what interest in your family that I take, has gone so far from my sake as to break the secrecy that's due to state affairs. And for this reason, I've rushed up your stairs to warn you now. Leave quickly. Fly the city. Tartuffe somehow has managed, more's the pity, to find the means to see our mighty prince, and treason's called upon you from a glimpse of all the papers stored within that box. Tartuffe, of course, immediately talked at length about your failings as a subject. It won't be long until your cries are public. Knowledge since a warrant has been signed. Tartuffe comes here himself to cite your crime. He brings an officer for your arrest.
So this is how he's going to get the best of us.
His wickedness is partly mine.
Please, monsieur, you are running out of time. I have my carriage drawn up at the door.
I fail to see how I could owe you more than at this instant I owe to your care. I'll say farewell to all. Oh, don't despair. I'll send for you, my love.
You must hurry. We'll see to your affairs. Don't you worry.
Valere shakes with impatience as Orgon embraces his whole family, then is drawn towards the safety of his banishment.
What's this, my dear Orgon? Recalcitrant? You think you can escape the prince's doom?
Tartuffe himself invades the living room. He's followed by an officer of law who seems familiar somehow, like we've all seen him before. Oh, well, no time for this. Our hero's future hangs o'er the abyss.
You traitor! You have saved the worst for last. You've ruined everything that I've amassed throughout my life, you vile, deluding snake. I've given all to you, yet still you take.
I shall not be embittered by your slings, for heaven has taught me to endure all things.
Your moderation, I must own, is great.
Your beauty, which might have moved me as of late, against its charms my heart is now endured. My duty calls.
It's clear you are assured great glory from this honorable act.
There's naught but honor in the fact that I obeyed the orders of my king.
You wretch! Have you forgotten everything I did to lift you up from utter squalor?
The true extent of your aid's rather smaller than you recall. My huge humility performed the heavy lifting. You agree? But princely power supersedes all this. I must heed his command. I'd be remiss in my allegiance if I hesitate. And such a worthy cause must then translate my gratitude to you into a trifle. I'd sacrifice you all rather than stifle my holy purpose.
Oh, you hypocrite.
Indeed he is. How well he knows the trick of cloaking him with what we most revere.
He's practiced at such swindling, I fear. But if the motive that you now parade is the one that is as perfect as you say, then why wait until the day that you were caught soliciting his wife? You hadn't thought till then intelligence shouldn't be submitted of all these treacheries Oregon's committed. I'm sure that you were in no wise persuaded to wait until it turned out you were slated to be inheritor of his wealth. If he's so guilty, why then taint yourself with taking such a risk bequest from him?
Pray you, sir, deliver me from all this din. Be good enough to carry out your task.
At once, sir. It's so good of you to ask. Yes, I've too long delayed its execution. I'm ready to serve as a resolution and bring this little drama to a close. So come on, sir. I'll lead you by the nose to prison, where you'll find your room prepared. You.
Why, sir?
You.
But why should I go there?
You're not the one to whom I owe account. And you, dear father, sir, are safe from doubt. Our prince is not a friend to double dealing. His eyes can read men's inmost hearts and feelings. The art of hypocrites cannot deceive him, and this Tartuffe, he never would believe him. He honors and exalts true piety, but knows the false and views it scornfully. This fellow was by no means apt to fool him. Far subtler snares have failed against his wisdom. Accusing you, this knave betrayed his grifts, and by true recompense of heaven's gifts he stood revealed before our monarch's eyes, a scoundrel hid behind a holy guise, whose horrid crimes, detailed at length, supplied a history stacked many volumes high. Our monarch, to resolve this naughty plot, has sent me in his stead. And now we've caught Tartuffe red-handed in this crass misdeed. Now, sir, please hand this gentleman his deeds, your claims revoked. And as for all the rest, your exiled friend's most questionable request to have you keep his compromising papers, well, that's been set aside. That sin like vapor has dissipated with the sun-like gaze of our dear king. You needn't look amazed. You're pardoned, and you'll stay under your roof. Thus base hypocrisy is triumphed by truth.
Now heaven be praised.
At last I breathe.
A fresh air of relief.
A happy end.
The officer is grinning in his glee. He binds up Tartuffe's hands so he can't flee.
There, traitor. Now you'll get it.
Brother, don't descend to such indignities. I won't. Leave this poor wretch to his unhappy lot and let remorse oppress him. You should not. Hope rather that his heart may now return to virtue. Hate his vice, then he may earn the gentle pardon of our glorious king, while you must straightway go to him and bring your earnest thanks for all his most noble grace.
Well said. We'll go and kneel down in that place with joy to thank him for his goodness shown. And this first duty done, we'll come back home, returning with another joy to share, and wed our Marianne to good Valere. And someone go and find my son Damis, so that I might forgive him for all that stuff he did.
Well, surprise, it's me.
With this last reveal, our play is done. We've tied up loose ends, the good guys won. Tartuffe's duplicity has been revealed. The wedding twixt our lovers will be sealed. Oregon will less credulous and must rebuild his sweet Elmire's enduring trust. Dami is now on track to re-inherit. Madame Pernelle has learned to judge true merit. The wise Cleant's advice has been observed. Lord knows now, Loyal knows now to proofread writs he serves. Doreen, as always, got to have her say. We've all learned useful lessons here today. And what of Tartuffe? Will yet he repent? Well, that's matter for a sequel. We have spent all the words allotted for our time. We hope you found the reason in our rhymes. And now, you gentles all, don't be aloof. Show your appreciation for Tartuffe.
Good evening. I am Rob Otrembiak. I have had the pleasure of directing this Tartuffication of Majesticpiece Theater. I want to thank you for joining us tonight and also to introduce our wonderful cast. First, we most definitely have to acknowledge and thank Rachel Kohler for this fantastic script adaptation. She took a fantastic source and in record time transformed it into something not only for this medium, but forever. A fantastic job, and we are all indebted to her work. Thank you, Rachel, so very, very much. And now, we've been so blessed with this production. We have talent on stage, backstage, in the wings, and so I want to start by introducing our understudies and emergency backups who have been ready, willing, and able to jump in if there is any mishap. So please welcome and give credit to Teresa Bolin and Pat Perdue. They are going to help me introduce our on-screen actors. So Pat.
And introducing the man behind Monsieur Loyal, Bob Greenwade.
Our ever joyful and informative narrator, Michael Wren.
The award for longest commute goes to my former co-star from Clinton County, Illinois, as Monsieur Cleont, Perry Davis Wesselman.
Appearing as my favorite mother-in-law, Madame Purnell, Carlissa Jones.
My favorite sassy smart servant, Doreen, Callie Cardis.
Appearing as that master of disguise, Dami, Brianna Manessa.
Every father's favorite daughter, Marianne, played by Jocelyn Eisenhower. Something like that. I messed it up.
Her oh so suave and slightly whiny, beautiful Boo Valere, Ryan McWayne.
The master of his own domain, Monsieur Orgon, J. Gibson King.
Definitely his better half, Madame Elmire, Brandy Douglas.
And the man or woman, the person of the hour, our titular character Tartuffe, Jen Waters. I want to express our gratitude to all of our actors, all who auditioned, and the cast also wishes to thank Amanda Vanderhyde, our technical director and coordinating producer. She was managing everything you didn't see going on behind the scenes. Most of all, thank you to everyone who watched, who shared and supported Majesticpiece Theater. Good night.